Patriots and Dolphins are tied at 10. A first half that saw Dan Marino, who needed 38 yards coming in to pass by Fran Tarkenton and do it with that flip to Irving Fryar and an emotional celebration. So Dan Marino continues to wipe Fran Tarkenton out of the record books. This was such a popular presentation of yours on the pregame show, Chris. We thought we'd go with it once again.
Fran looks a little like Jerry West there when you take a good.
Yes, there is a likeness. No question, yes. And this is the football that is headed to the Hall of Fame that Marino threw to Fryar. And
we can probably get a couple of bucks for this thing. What if we just took it and threw it in the crowd?
Actually, Dan wanted you to keep it for your den.
I bet he did.
Kind of a nice pickup.
Closest I'll get to the Hall of Fame right there.
All right, a look at the Coors Light halftime stats in a moment as we are set for the kickoff. Stojanovic. I think delighted to keep it away from Meggett. Troy Brown on the return. Right at the end of the half, Meggett went for 64 yards to lead to the 55-yard field goal by Barr. And now a look at the Coors Light halftime statistics.
207 yards and a half for Dan Marino, and the rushing yards for the New England Patriots, the key, they had only 2 in the first quarter, 75 in the second quarter.
The Patriots from their 23-yard line. Here is Martin. Curtis Martin, who has run so well. Most of the production coming in the second quarter. 16 carries, 81 yards for the rookie from Pitt, who last week was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And says his mom now signs autographs in the parking lot. You know, it's sort of a family thing.
Yes.
Get everybody.
Actually, his mom lives in Pittsburgh, picks up the game at Rod Woodson's restaurant where they have the big satellite dish. Martin again. Michael Stewart on the stop. That 55-yard field goal by Barr is the longest in the history of the New England Patriots as he passes by Gino Cappelletti, who had a 53-yarder against the Jets back in November of '65. What a strange day for Barr. He missed his shortest ever attempt and hits his longest. Missed from 19 earlier in the half. Third down and 3, and the first down is picked up by Meggett. Ryan Cox on the stop. Second catch for Meggett, who has had a terrific all-around day.
You know, in talking to Dave Meggett last night, he said one of his concerns is the fact that when he comes in the ball game, everybody knows they're going to throw the ball, because they can't really put Meggett and Curtis Martin in there together because neither one of them can act as a lead blocker or, you know, try and lead the other guy back in there. So he says the teams just basically know we're going to throw, but who cares?
And a first down at the 41-yard line. Again, Martin, this time he's hit for a loss.
We didn't do Curtis Martin any favors earlier this season either when we talked about his staying in the end zone hotel right outside the stadium. He said that he got more phone calls and it was ringing off the hook and the manager was complaining to him.
Curtis not necessarily appreciating the many new friends that he attracted.
We tried to help him break in there.
It's a second and about 11. Here's Martin accelerating to the 47, met by Brian Cox.
Just a simple isolation play, and they're going to come in here and just work on Brian Cox, just one-on-one. Going to come off, and Max Lane in there trying to throw a block, but that happening well down the field, and Curtis Martin continues to be effective running the ball against a very good run defense.
It's a third and 4. Will Moore in motion. Bledsoe. Oh, good hit on Brisby by Brown. And let's see where they spot it.
I think he got just enough for the first down. Brisby had to weave his way through the secondary. Brian Cox coming on the blitz, and Dave Wohleball doing a nice job picking him up, and that allowed Bledsoe the time to find Brisby.
And it is a first down, 4th catch of the day for Brisby. It's a first down at the Miami 48-yard line. Miami and New England are tied at 10. Megan. David Megan, stopped by Brian Cox, very active in this 3rd quarter. For Megan, his first carry of the game. David Megan, over the years, one of the premier all-purpose players, signing with New England as a free agent, rejoining his former coach with the Giants, Bill Parcells.
You know, one of the things that Megan was telling us last night is said that, you know, we came in very confident this year, obviously, but other teams raised their expectations against us. We never raised ours against them.
2nd and 9. Bledsoe with the long look, and he has a man wide open. It is Brisby for the touchdown. Vincent Brisby beating J.B. Brown and going 47 yards for the score.
No free safety help in the middle of the field, just one-on-one on the outside. Brisby, bad hand and all, just flies right past J.B. Brown, and the problems in the secondary continue for the Miami Dolphins. They keep giving up those long touchdown passes.
And the extra point by Barr gives New England a 17-10 lead.
Gene Atkins is going to come out of the middle of the field to cover a crossing route, and that's going to leave the middle wide open on this play for Vincent Brisby. Nobody back there. Now the question is, was he supposed to do that? Look at the technique, inside and off technique by J.B. Brown. I think that was straight man-to-man coverage, not Atkins' fault. And J.B. Brown just did not take away enough of the inside. The post pattern has to be your #1 concern in that coverage.
A kick from Wagner. And Randall Hill let it carry out of bounds. The 47-yard touchdown pass from Bledsoe.
Down by the kicking team. The result of the play will be the ball will be placed on the 40-yard line. First down.
That Drew Bledsoe's longest completion of the season, and we're seeing shades of Drew Bledsoe of a year ago. Very effective, 10 of 19, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. The earlier touchdown was capped off the earlier drive by Curtis Martin, who took it in from 3 yards away.
But you know why he's starting to play better? He hasn't been sacked now for 3.5 games. And you give a young quarterback a chance to sit back there and get comfortable, then he is going to look better as a quarterback.
Well, the Dolphins start out from the 40. The pitch handled by Parmalee. And Parmalee advances it 4 yards, met by the outside linebacker, Chris Slade.
Well, when these two teams get together, there are plenty of touchdown passes to go around. 15 for each team, and that comes in. There's only 4 teams worse than that in the National Football League.
2nd and about 5. Parmalee ankle tackled as he picked up the first down. Ted Johnson, the 2nd-round pick from Colorado, making the stop.
Widener, who, remember, filling in for the injured Chris Gray, pulling around and does a nice job pinning Vincent Brown on the inside. A lot of times those offensive linemen, they don't even know who they're going to block coming around the corner. They just come around there and try and get their hands on somebody. That time that somebody was Vincent Brown.
Yes, Gray going out earlier with an ankle problem, replaced by Widener. Here is Marino to the sideline and completes for the first down. O.J. McDuffie, who I referred to earlier as Mr. First Down, of his 31 catches, 25 have been for first downs. And
he really was Bernie Kosar's favorite receiver when Bernie was getting a chance to play quarterback. Had been fairly quiet so far this afternoon, but Ricky Reynolds giving him a lot of room on the outside, and Marino just taking advantage.
6 minutes gone by. third quarter. And the Patriots with a 17-10 lead on the Dolphins. Parmalee trying to pick his way. Gets to the 33, met by the combination of Ted Johnson and Marty Moore.
And really, Bernie Parmalee has taken over the running back position now for the Miami Dolphins. Has been playing very well. You hit on the fumble problems he had earlier in the season. Apparently, he has corrected that, but he has relegated Terry Kirby to a backup role.
Now Fryer to the right, McDuffie left. Second down and 6. McDuffie in motion. Parmalee trying to stiff arm his way, but the strong safety Terry Ray on the stop.
And Marv, I don't think that Keith Sims is completely healthy right now. He struggled with that toe injury, and he's trying to pull out in front of some of these plays and lead Parmalee, but he's just not able to run the way that he once could. Number 69, you can see him just sort of dragging around the corner, and ordinarily he's a little quicker and a little better athlete than that, but he struggled with the toe injury this year.
Yes, Keith Sims, a two-time Pro Bowl player and a 6th year out of Iowa State, until it was bothering him right from the start of the year. Reno with the time. Nice catch made in traffic. Irving Fryer showing the good hands and then refusing to go down. That's his 4th catch of the game.
You see Irving with a little laugh there, but it's a good solid hands catch here. The pattern broke down initially and he just stayed with it. He and Marino have a little running bet. Irving is an ordained minister, and if he catches a 50-yard pass in this ball game, Marino has to go and listen to him preach during the off season. So he's trying hard to come up with a big one.
Now with Irving, and we have heard him speak, although he's very eloquent, but they are long speeches. That's a bet that Dan does not want to lose.
He may be throwing a lot of slants to Irving Fryer here today. Yeah, we did. I said, well, what would the subject, what would the sermon be all about? He said, well, you know, Dan's kind of a hothead, and he ends up yelling at me almost every single game. So it'd probably be something like, you know, hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battle. So he wants to sort of help Dan along.
Yeah. 2nd and 8 off the 2-yard pickup by Parmalee. 6.5 remaining in the third quarter. Miami is down by 7. Now Fryer is to the right and Clark to the left. Reno slipped and then was able to complete to O.J. McDuffie for the touchdown. McDuffie beating Hurst. A 20-yard pass play, and the Dolphins are within 1, and that is TD number 340 thrown by Marino.
Now 2 to tie Fran Tarkington and 3 to break that record as he continues to close in, and this is shaping up a little bit like the last time these two teams got together here in Miami. The shootout has begun.
Marino, 18 of 26, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Drum roll, please, for this extra point.
Stoyanovich. And the game is tied at 17. We'll be back in Miami in a moment.
A collision in the secondary sets up the touchdown. Here's McDuffie, here's Hurst, here's Ricky Reynolds. Watch the collision between the two New England defensive backs in man coverage. Boom. Easy touchdown.
Meggett and Brown are back. And it's Meggett with the return. Meggett able to break the tackle, finding the hole, and another spectacular kick return by Meggett. This for 48 yards. He has been unstoppable. 6 minutes left in the third. We'll be right.
Dave Meggett giving special teams coach Mike Westhoff a headache in this one. That's back-to-back long run backs. And Meggett just does a great job not getting too excited once he gets inside the hole, making his move. And then Stoyanovich looking like a bullfighter with an Olay move.
48-yard kick return and a 64 for Megan. Well, Bledsoe took a pop and was fortunate that he was not intercepted. And you saw the flag go down. Personal foul against the Dolphins.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 90. It was a blow to the head. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Whether you're late or not, if you hit the quarterback in the head, it is an automatic 15-yard penalty. At the end of the play, you see Coleman come up and strike. The initial hit was perfectly clean by Bowens, and then the blow to the back of the head, 15 yards, automatic. And Brian Cox almost had an interception. Wouldn't have meant anything, though.
First down at the Miami 38. Bledsoe goes short range. Martin. And he's able to pick his way for a first down. Michael Stewart on the stop. It's good for 16 yards. Chris, you look at the Patriots' last 5 possessions, punt, and then touchdown, field goal, and touchdown.
And they are working the ball to this Curtis Martin. He is beginning to look like Marshall Faulk in the sense that he has become such a big part of the offense, both catching the football, running the football. He's doing it all right now, and Ben Coates is nowhere to be found.
It's a first down at the Dolphin 22. Again, Martin found the hole. The offensive line continues to do an excellent job as Martin gets inside the 15-yard line against Stewart on the tackle.
Dave Wollaball doing a good job right in the middle of the center. They're going with the double team, and then the guard will come off and help on the linebacker. And Marvin, really, it's not anything complicated. I mean, this is just straight power football. They're just going man on man and blowing them off the ball. And this is an excellent run defense.
Second down and 2. Martin stopped. Good second effort. And then taken down by the strong safety, Stewart.
You know, it was interesting talking with Tom Olivadotti yesterday. He said, asked him about the Patriots running game. He said, you want to see the Patriots running game? And he sat down with a piece of paper and drew 3 plays. He said, that's it. That's all they do. They run these 3 plays. It's not like, you know, we don't know what they're going to do out there. We just have to go out there and physically beat them. And nobody has run the football on this defense the way that Curtis Martin is today.
It's third and about a yard. 87 Coates in motion. Here's Martin. And we'll have to see where they spot it. Martin looking for the first down, trying the right side, met by Bowens and Stewart. Down to 3:46 remaining in the third quarter. The game tied at 17.
And Marv, if this is short, I don't think Bill Parcells has a choice. This game is already setting up as one of those shootout kind of games. Dan Marino, the last 2 times he's had the ball up and down the field, no problem whatsoever. You just have to try and match him point for point.
It will be a 4th and less than a yard.
And Dave Meggett coming into the ball game now, so you don't expect power football out of this formation.
And this capacity crowd, better than 74,000 at Joe Robbie, urging the Dolphin defensive unit on. 4th and less than a yard down at the 13. And it's a quarterback sneak. The Dolphins feel they stopped Bledsoe. Did they get enough push?
You know, when you put Dave Meggett in the backfield and those 3 wide receivers, really the only thing left available in the running game was the quarterback sneak, and I'm sure the Miami Dolphins were up there screaming it at the line of scrimmage.
And again, the yardsticks are brought out. The officials looking to separate the players who are making their own individual calls. And you can see it is short. So the Dolphins will take over, starting at their 13.
With Dave Meggett on this side and nobody over here, the only possible run is with the quarterback. So now you take your tackles, you slant everybody inside, and they end up hitting Drew Bledsoe right in the face. Everybody's slanting down inside and nowhere for Drew Bledsoe to go.
The Dolphins take over on downs. They start out 1st and 10 at the 13 with 3.5 left in the third quarter. Miami and New England are tied at 17. Here is Kirby. Stopped by Johnson. Bernie Parmalee has been getting most of the work. Terry Kirby with his first carry of the day and picked up 3. It's a 2nd down and 7. Giants leading the Raiders at Giants Stadium. Atlanta coming from behind. They've tied Buffalo in the third quarter. Colts and Saints even at 14.
Wow.
Close games right throughout.
I think everything is tied.
And Marino is stripped as he took a hit. Good rush by the Patriots, and they have recovered. The New England Patriots with the recovery. Reggie White coming up with the ball.
Chris Slade coming in, getting the initial pressure, working against Terry Kirby, and then I believe it was Willie McGinnis who came around and cleaned it up.
And I think Troy Barnett, the man who recovered. Let's see. Yes, number 98, Troy Barnett, the right defensive end on the recovery.
But anytime you try and match a back like Terry Kirby up against an outside linebacker like Chris Slade, who is probably the Patriots' best pass rusher, you're not going to have a lot of time to throw the football, and that's what forced Dan Marino to step up and try and make a play, and then McGinnis cleaned it up.
So it is a 1st and goal down at the 7. Bledsoe to throw, and it's broken up and almost intercepted, intended for Will Moore.
And what has happened to Will Moore during the course of this season? We were in there early this year, and in his first 2 games he had 14 catches, and in the last 7 just 18. Maybe this is part of the reason they don't throw to him anymore. He had a chance. On the other side, it looked like Hassan Graham had a chance, but Drew Bledsoe didn't find him.
No catches from Moore or Coates this afternoon. Moore, though, has been bothered by a pulled hamstring. 2nd and goal at the 7. They go to the ground. Martin tried to follow a blocker, and he lost a yard or 2. Bowens and Stewart handcuffing Martin.
And if this Miami defense can get off the field with just 3 points after stopping them on 4th down the time before, if they can turn around after the turnover, after the fumble, and hold the Patriots to a field goal, it will give the Dolphins a huge lift here.
3rd and goal outside the 8. 2 minutes left in the 3rd, and the game is tied. Bledsoe, touchdown, caught on the deflection by Coates. Well, the Patriots will take it as Coates, a little sheepish reaction because the ball was deflected, and Coates comes up with his first touchdown reception of the season.
The best drop that Dave Meggett ever made. Right through his hands, right into the waiting arms of Ben Coates. He hasn't seen the ball all day, but he'll take it. Sometimes you'd just rather be lucky than good.
All right, Matt Farr adds the extra point, and New England is up by 7.
And here is going to come up, run a little option route across the middle of the field. No question, Bledsoe was going to him all the way. Picks him up out of the backfield, and then the deflection. And the bizarre thing was the way that the thing was deflected. Actually went back behind Meggett. I mean, the most unusual place for that ball to end up. And for Drew Bledsoe, he said, things have been tough enough. I'll take it.
And he had that exact tone also,
yes.
to be pointed out.
You know, and even when you drop things, you can still chew on your mouthpiece. And for Ben Coates, what the heck? Take it.
All right, here's McDuffie on the kick return. And jammed up, running into the middle of the pack. And taken down at the 28-yard line. We are set for an update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Marv, at the Meadowlands, watch Giants quarterback Dave Brown. Quarterback draw, clean trail to the end zone from 11 yards out. The Giants lead the Oakland Raiders 13-10 in the fourth quarter, Marv.
All right, Greg, and the Dolphins will start out from the 28-yard line with 1:40 left in this third quarter in their last series. And Marino took a good shot, fumbled, coughed it up. It led to the New England touchdown. Now Marino with the time, and he's able to hit Eric Green. Eric Green coming rumbling over the middle and picked up 25 on that play.
Eric Green did have to take a little bit of time off this week because of that sore knee. He tried to come back after 2 weeks after his arthroscopic surgery. But he is such a huge weapon. I can remember when he was playing for Pittsburgh, when I talked to defensive coordinators and asked them about stopping Eric Green, and that's where every conversation started. When you tried to stop Pittsburgh, you had to stop Eric Green.
First down play from the 47, Kirby. And I see his cousin, number 53, Chris Slade, involved on the stop. They grew up together, went to the University of Virginia together. Have a very friendly rivalry.
I'm out. And JB, I agree with you. But what they told us in our meetings with the officials this year when we met with them as a group with NBC was, would you make that pass interference call to decide the Super Bowl? And I don't think that the receiver put himself in a bad position, got down inside, so he couldn't get back out. Not J.B. Brown's fault.
All right, here's McDuffie on the return. Now, is that an indication that calls should be different in games as opposed to the Super Bowl? Or are you saying every call should be made as if it is a championship game?
Well, Mark, because the pass interference call takes up so much yardage. You know, it's a 30-yard, 50-yard, sometimes a 60-yard penalty. They want it to be an absolute. They want it to be a definite. They want to see pass interference, have everybody in the stadium say, oh, yes, I agree, that's pass interference. And so they want it to be a tougher standard. And the wide receiver on that play went down inside, and if he wanted to go post corner, he should have made his move earlier and not gotten past J.B. Brown. When he did, he turned around, ran right back into him. Most of that was created by the wide receiver.
I understand that, but the standard should be the same. Whatever the sport, I never can understand why calls are different in certain games or certain stages of a game. I mean, that changes the consistency. We see Kirby on a spin, stop up at the 29-yard line. Johnson and Hurst are able to make the tackle. Miami in its hurry up, second down and 5. New England now up 31-17. 31 points is a high for the year for the Patriots. Byers has a first down. Ricky Reynolds tripped him up, and now the crowd trying to get things going, urging the offense on. A first down at the 39. 7:45 left in the fourth quarter. Marino out of the shotgun. And completes to Kirby, not able to find the running room. Vincent Brown was right there. Raiders with a 17-13 lead in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. Buffalo by 3 points over Atlanta. Buffalo and Miami come in at 6-3, tied for the lead in the AFC East. Another first down pass completed to Byers.
Dan Marino now wearing them out underneath. The one thing that you have to be worried about in this situation, in the hurry-up offense, a lot of times those offensive linemen get tired and they want to lay on a guy, and do a little holding.
Another 300-yard game for Dan Marino. His 51st career 300-yard game. And he adds to that with a completion to Byers. He is now tied with Dan Fouts for most 300-plus yard passing games. The records are just falling.
Yeah, but every time he breaks a record, they lose the game.
That is correct.
Yeah, I mean, they really have. When he's broken a record and they take a minute to celebrate, they end up losing.
Inside handoff, and Kirby gunning for the first down. McGinnis and Johnson on the tackle. We have 6:15 left in this fourth quarter. The Patriots with a 31-17 lead on the Dolphins. Miami continuing in its hurry-up.
Parcells knows this one isn't over.
Marino took the long look. And now completes to McDuffie for another first down. And O.J. McDuffie refusing to go down.
This is starting to get good, but they can't settle for any field goals now. Dan Marino biding a little time, and O.J. McDuffie sees his quarterback out of the pocket and just keeps coming right back towards him. That's the reason he catches so many balls for first downs. He wants it in tough situations.
And a first down at the 21. Marino picked off. He is intercepted by Myron Guyton. Myron Guyton able to make his move along the sideline as he reaches out to midfield. Myron Guyton, who played for Bill Parcells with the Giants in his 7th year out of Eastern Kentucky, has come up with his first interception of the season, and he goes 41 yards on the return.
Remember what Myron Guyton told us yesterday. In the first game, we tried to blitz Dan Marino. It wasn't working, so we went back to a base defense, had more success in the second half, and that time Dan Marino just absolutely blowing it. I don't even know who he was trying to get that one to.
As we resume, Curtis Martin gets the call. We come up on 5 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. The Patriots getting it back on the interception by Myron Guyton.
O.J. McDuffie here in the slot is going to come up and go to the corner. Now, the Dolphins have a lot of option routes in their offense. I have to believe that Marino thought he was going to the post, because you can see that one's nowhere near, just trying to throw the ball before the break. And when McDuffie broke out, he went right to Myron Guyton.
8 more yards for Martin, 127 yards on the ground for the rookie from Pitt. Second down and 2 at the 44-yard line. And again, it is Martin, and he has a first down and some more. What a performance by Curtis Martin. Solid game for Drew Bledsoe. The defense has played well. Another excellent outing for the offensive line of the Patriots. And how about the special teams? David Meggett, kickoff return, 64 and 48 yards. A couple of strong punts by Wagner, and Barr with a 55-yard field goal after he suffered the shortest miss of his career earlier. Not able to hit from 19. First down at the 36, just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Martin.
And Marv, let's make this point. The Dolphins had no excuses today. Every other game, they were up 24-3 on the Colts, and they came back, and you say, well, they were 4-0 at that point. The other two games, they were without Marino. But in this one, no excuses. And this is going to be a long week for this Miami Dolphin football team. The pressure was already on Don Shula, and let's just tell it like it is. Jimmy Johnson is sitting out there, a very popular coach at the University of Miami, of course, won the 2 world titles with the Cowboys. A lot of fans still in this area, and it is going to be a very difficult week for Don Shula.
And it's Martin. As the Patriots just run the clock down. Vincent on the stop. And you look back at this series, the Dolphins with 3 straight wins, 12 of the last 13 against New England. We'll be right back. Well, Bill Parcells and his New England Patriots with a 31-17 lead on the Miami Dolphins with 2:54 remaining in the fourth quarter, and it's a 3rd down and 3 at the 29.
Last chance here for the Miami Dolphins if they have any chances at all.
And Curtis Martin is stopped at the line. Chuck Klingbeil with the reps on Martin. And a timeout is called by the Dolphins. Well, the Patriots, very nice look at Bill with the tie. And very civilized here in this shot, but the Patriots still have a long way to go. They were able to turn things around last year with the 7 straight wins to make the playoffs. I don't know, can you do this 2 straight seasons? Particularly, you look at the
way they're playing today.
Schedule. See, the next 3 are all within the division. Next week, home for Indianapolis, then at Buffalo, home for New Orleans. The Jets at Pittsburgh, at Indianapolis once again.
It's by no means a killer schedule. I mean, they definitely have an opportunity. And this is a tough decision right now. They're going to kick the field goal, but if Matt Barr misses this kick, that means that Dan Marino will take over at the spot of the kick, the 38-yard line. And there's still time remaining.
46-yard attempt. Earlier hit from 55. Line tries it. And it is good.
Parcells is loving that little guy right now, saying, that's a little high fives all around.
And as we discussed earlier, Matt Barr is not known as one who has been able to hit consistently from long range.
Misses the shortest kick of his career and then comes back with 2 of the biggest of his career. In the clutch, long-time veteran.
In fact, Chris, the thought was with Pat O'Neill, the second-year man from Syracuse, as the punter, he would be the kicker who would be used in long-range situations. And Pat O'Neill had problems in his punting game and was replaced by Brian Wagner last week. So now it is strictly Matt Barr.
Right, and Matt Barr is a clutch kicker. He played on 2 Super Bowl teams with the Steelers all the way back in '79. Hard to imagine that he was still playing back then. And then also with Bill Parcells and the Giants in '90. So if there's a clutch kick to be made, there's no question who Bill Parcells is going to send onto the field. And Parcells really thinks that this team has a chance. You know, it was amazing when we talked to him yesterday how optimistic he was about this football game. And Marv, he made a comment during that conversation. We were talking about his offensive line, and he said, I don't think I'm going to have to make a lot of changes on that offensive line for next year. I feel pretty good about it. And that's the first time I ever heard him talking about definitively what he was going to do for next year. Now, he didn't say he was coming back, but he was talking about next year.
Yes, you get the idea that he is certainly feeling much better about things as McDuffie was able to reach out across the 20-yard line. We saw Bill several weeks ago, and he was really down. Different mentality yesterday. A reminder, coming up next, we will take you to China as Americans Fred Couples and Davis Love III will look for a record 4th consecutive victory against 31 of the world's best 2-man team. The World Cup of Golf next here on NBC. Bernie Kosar replacing Dan Marino with 2:32 to go in this fourth quarter. So Marino 27 of 37, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
The records and another loss. So it's happened to them once again. Every time he breaks a record, they end up losing the game. And there is too much talent on this Dolphins team for them to have 4 losses.
And the handoff for Kirby. Chris Slade on the stop. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd with the team down by 17 points. And the first call is to the ground. Kosar looking left, couldn't find anybody, dumps it off, and it's dropped by Robert Wilson, the backup fullback.
You know, Marvin, the first 5 games of the season, this Patriots offense was just terrible. They only scored 43 points in 5 games. Now with their 34 today, they are, let me do my quick math, they're 124 in the next 5 games. So this is an offense that is getting it going. Their offensive line much more solid now. Bledsoe is getting protected. There's Max Lane, who's been a big part of it since taking over at the right tackle position for Pat Harlow. So a lot of good things happening right now for the Patriots.
Dolphins with a 3rd down and 8. And Kosar's pass behind Kirby, who was covered by Law.
Well, Bernie Kosar, after taking that shot, may want to become an owner even sooner than what he was before. He's, of course, trying to become involved in ownership in Cleveland right now, since the Browns did what they did.
Did what they did.
Don't get me started on Art Modell.
What an interesting way to...
Well, you know, I've said this enough this week, so I'm going to... But it's
a lot of time here for you, Chris.
It's unbelievable. I'll say it's just unbelievable.
And Kosar able to complete. Randall Hill with his first catch of the day. The New England Patriots with a 34-17 lead on the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins had won 6 straight over the Patriots here in Miami. The last New England win over Miami, season ender in overtime back in '93. Dan Marino sat out that game because of injury. Kirby off the completion with 1:45 remaining in this 4th quarter. As we watch the scores go by.
Well, it's hard to believe, but Buffalo with a win today all of a sudden becomes the team to beat in that Eastern Division. I mean, who would have ever anticipated that the Buffalo Bills, with all that they've had go wrong this season, Thurman Thomas with the hamstring injury, Andre Reed, Marv Levy not there with the prostate surgery, and now they are just playing so much tougher than what the Miami Dolphins are.
Catch by Kirby for the first down at the New England 45 as we come up on 1 minute remaining in this 4th quarter. And the play is blown dead. Buffalo Bills in front of the Atlanta Falcons late 4th quarter, leading 20-17, and they'll hang on. They will be 7-3 while Miami drops to 6-4.
Before the snap, there's a false start on the offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Richmond Webb called on the penalty.
And Indianapolis losing today, so they fall another game back. But all of a sudden now, look at the number 4 team down there. And New England, and they get Buffalo coming up. Is that game next week or 2 weeks from now? In 2 weeks from now, after they play Indianapolis. And Bill Parcells told us yesterday, he said, we got 3 straight, you know, against the guys in our division. So if it doesn't happen for us this season, we really have nobody to blame but us. And boy, there's a big old smile on Bill Parcells' face. I haven't seen many of those this year.
Well, the killer loss for them, although certainly you have to respect what Carolina has done, is Parmalee picks up a first down. But the Patriots felt there were good signs, even though they lost to Kansas City. But the loss to Carolina really is damaging as you look now with a win here over Miami, because they beat Buffalo, they beat the Jets.
Well, you know what they did in that game, Marv? They came out, and Terry Collins, the rookie quarterback out of Penn State, and they tried to blitz him. And they sort of lost their strategy and left the middle of the field open, and they hit some big plays against him.
Clock is running down. 5 seconds to go, and that will wrap it. Wow. The New England Patriots defeating the Miami Dolphins 34-17. The Dolphins had won.